Hello everybody, welcome to the Auto Twins YouTube channel, and today we're going to be reviewing this 2006 Mercedes-Benz E500. This one has the Everest green metallic paint. It's a very rare paint color on the E500. You see it a lot on the wagons, but not much on the sedans. It has the factory 17-inch wheels with some nice Michelins on it, 235/45 R17s. Why don't we take a walk around the vehicle here, take a look at the rear. It's only got the E500 badge on the left, as it's not a 4MATIC model. Many of them were 4MATICs, especially in 2006, but not this one. And it has the 5-liter M113 V8 producing 302 horsepower and 339 foot-pounds of torque. So why don't we take a look into the engine bay. Here you can see the beautiful 5-liter M113 V8 from Mercedes. They put it in a lot of vehicles like the ML500, the S500, and some other vehicles as well. And it is one of their most reliable powertrains in the modern Mercedes. It has 302 horsepower and 339 foot-pounds of torque sent to the rear wheels, and it really makes this thing move. And now let's move on to the interior. Stepping into the interior of the E500, we can see that this one has many options with the black interior and the wood trim. Over here on the driver door, you have your seat settings, as well as your memories, your mirror controls, and your window controls. As we move into the interior, we can see we have our headlight options here. This car has the bi-xenon headlights that were optioned with it. Headlight washers, your parking brake. As we step in, you can see our infotainment screen. We have our different options over here to control it, as well as the ones on the side. You have your numbers over here if you're going to call someone back in 2006. Down here, this car has the optional heated and cooled seats, the rear shade, and here's your traction control / ESP button. Over here on the shifter, our optional start-stop button, which wasn't super common on these. Comfort and sport modes, and here you have an ashtray, cigarette lighter. These are your transmission controls, drive modes, whatever you want to call it. Here's your height adjustments for the suspension. These are adjustable air suspension. You can go from Comfort, Sport 1, and Sport 2. And then here's your parking sensor button if you want to have those on. As we move back up here, you have your climate control buttons, as well as your adjustments for where you want them. And then up above, actually not a very common option on these, is your Panorama Sunroof for the front and the rear, and it can be controlled up back here, and it can also be controlled in the front over here. As we move into the back of the E500, things are pretty simple back here. You have an ashtray on both doors. Your rear seats, you can pull your headrests up and down, but they're down right now because no one really sits back here. You can see your Panorama Sunroof, and you have climate controls in the rear. There's also an option on these. As I said, this one's almost fully loaded. 12-volt outlet there, and that's pretty much all we have going on here in the rear. Now let's hop back in the front, get this thing started, and hear what it sounds like. Now that we're in the E500, let's get this thing started. Service C-do, and this car actually does need brakes. But here you can see the temperature outside, and you can scroll through your different instrument display options, where you can see settings, your fuel economy, things like that, navigation. All the way here on the right, you have that little thing that shows the temperature of the motor. This car's warm because it's been being driven. You have your tachometer next to that, your speedometer in the middle, as well as your drive mode all the way on the bottom. You can switch through comfort as well as sport with the mileage, your drive mode, the time, and then your fuel gauge. Over here on the steering wheel, you can scroll through different options on the display cluster in there, and then this will take you further into your different options that you're selecting. The plus and the minus are audio controls for the volume, and then to pick up and answer calls, you can use these buttons here. Behind the steering wheel, you have your cruise control buttons, as well as your command unit speaking option. And then all the way down here on the left, you have your windshield wiper options, as well as that. And then you can do your power steering wheel down here. Why don't we give it a few revs from the interior? I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.